Welcome back everyone. Today we're working in South London. There's a big leak in a bedroom in the loft, so let's go and check out what it's all about. This is the loft room and this is where the leak's coming in. As you can see, massive crack, and then it's staining all the wall there. So let's get up there and have a look. Can't get a scaffold outside because it's right on the pavement and it'll take a couple of weeks to get permission, but there is a way up there. Also, this is the back bedroom and not many people keep a bucket on the bed, which tells you they've got a big leak from this flat roof on this dormer as well. And because we haven't got any scaffold, this is the way on the roof. And this is the access. So this is the way to get out onto the roof. I've got to bring rolls of lead and everything out for it. Yeah, once you're out, it's all good. Having a little lay down on the job. And then it's just a simple case of up the roof. So this is the dormer where it's leaking. I mean, there's nails sticking through. You can put your finger underneath the splits. So we're going to renew this felt top, which is a small, easy job. But the main works are over here. That box gutter at the bottom is blocked. That one's a small garden growing in it. But the main problems are these lead valleys. You can see the massive splits. There you go, if I open one up you can see. So this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 splits in it. This lead's been laid, I should say, in one long run. But you're supposed to cut it into 1.5 metre sections, because what happens is when it gets hot and cold the lead expands and contracts and it makes these like raised ridges, and eventually they split, as we've got here. The other side's just the same, so we're going to rip all these tiles out, rip out these valleys, but first job, clear out these gullies and see what we got underneath. So I'm sure everyone loves a rooftop garden, but this is not what they had in mind. All that is sand which is washed off these tiles. Let me explain. So these concrete tiles are coloured, and these are what we call sand faced, so they're rough. If you live in England and you're buying tiles for your roof, never get sand faced tiles, because the colour is sprayed on at the factory, which is a mixture of paint, I suppose, and like a sand finish. And then what happens over the years, all of that washes off and you end up with, if I turn you around that way, a load of sand. This has got moss growing through it, but most of that is the sand finish off the tiles, which is washed off. So if you're going to get a new roof and they ask you what tiles you want, don't say sand faced. You want nice smooth ones, because the smooth ones don't have the sand in the spray. They're still coloured, but your gutters won't be clogging up every year for the next 10 years. Right, let's get this cleared. This is the little catch pit which goes to the outlet. I mean, and that is really deep. Look how deep that soil is. That was flush with this curb. Right, I've cleared that out. And you can see there, this is where all the water from the whole of this roof runs through. That's tiny little outlet. So all of the tiles and everything that comes off this side of the roof goes through there, and then that goes in that pipe and then down into the ground. So you can imagine if that gets blocked up, it's taking all of this accumulated rainwater when it rains into that one little tiny hole, which is fine until you get all this blocking it. That's that side clear. We've got all of that from this small little area. Let's get over the other side and see what we got over there. Again, this side similarly bad. The small outlet is behind here somewhere, which goes again through the wall. There's a buddleia or something growing there, and there's the outlet buried. So let's get this cleared out. Actually, this paint tray has got grey, some kind of acrylic paint. Whoever's done that has painted their one next door grey and just thrown it over the wall. Good neighbourhood we're in. This probably comes from next door as well. If in doubt, throw it over next door. Look at that, look. So that gully's clear. I may need to do a few felt repairs because somebody's, don't know, painted some kind of rubbery coating on it. Anyway, it's this valley, which is the main one that's leaking, and there is another massive split. If I sort of pull it, you can see that you can open up the gap. So all the water from that roof runs down that valley and straight in that hole. So we're going to change this lead for nice new lead. Let's get going. So we need to rip this valley out. And as you can see there, it's all bedded. But the sand and cement is shot. So we need to hack all this out, put a new valley in, and rebed it as we go. But that does mean I need to take this, probably this ridge off. And these are notorious for breaking. So I might have to buy 2 or 3 new ridges, but hey ho. Just trying to loosen up the cement. Hopefully we can lift it out. I mean, if these break, it's not the end of the world. They're only like a £5 each, so. If you're watching abroad, a £5 is £5. Here we go. Lovely job. It's come off in one. That's what you want. Right, that's got it. Again, keeping that intact is lovely. Stick them on there, keep them safe. Jobs are good un. So this is a rental property. The landlord that actually owns it doesn't want to spend any money. That's why the ridges are in a state, the roof's leaking. The tenants have been onto him, so he's eventually agreed to do this. But you could spend a few weeks here fixing all the stuff that needs doing. Look at the state of this. Watch this. I don't know if you can see that moving. Next one. The whole lot is going. What we're going to do, just work our way down this valley. Pulling the tiles out. And the most important thing is on that dormer, you can't see from there, I've stacked them in order. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have nightmares putting them back in. Because every cut is slightly different. So yeah, you just got to keep them in order, starting from the top underneath. So when you work up from the bottom, take one off the top and lay it. It should be good. Another one we need to replace, the channel's broken. So the way these tiles work, that has a small water channel, which you can see is tiny. And that has a channel that goes on top, and they interlock over each other. And obviously if the channel's broken there, then any water that's running down is just going to run straight in that gap. So that is another tile we've got to replace. Just quickly spotted something else. Obviously when it rains, the rain runs down. So if you put something and then you make a joint, the next one's got to lap over the top of it. Makes sense, yeah? So any water running down doesn't run into the lap. Well, check this out. Here's the lead valley with all the water running down, and here is whatever this is, another bit of lead for the gully, which is actually on top of that lead valley. So there's a gap. As imagine my hands, the rainwater runs down, goes straight underneath. This should be on top. It's another problem. So I've pushed them up, and now we can just take these off, stack them as I was saying before in order. Again, push your tiles up. Let me know in the comments how many tiles do you think I'm going to break. We're up to 4 at the moment. Right, that's all the tiles off. Going to clear all this rubbish up and I'll be back. So, let's get this old lead out. Just going to do this side first, strip it, re-lead it, re-tile it but not bed it, and then strip that side in case it rains. You've got to always be prepared. Right, what I'm going to do, because it's one massive length, I'm going to cut it down into manageable bits with the trusty snips. went down for a bit of lead. Come back with a cup of tea. Don't know what that means. Hopefully it's not something rude. I think it's Irish. Cadence Hill. Let us know. Right. Can you see the back of that lead? That is oxidisation from where it's been leaking. And it runs obviously all the way down. Luckily this felt is watertight, so it's going to run down the felt until it gets to a point near the bottom. There's probably a hole in the felt or the felt stops. That's where the water comes in. So it's sometimes really hard to find a leak because it could be anywhere on the roof. It could be right at the top of the valley, and if the underlying felt is in good condition, it will just run down and then come out of the easiest point, which is generally at the bottom. So if you've got a leak on your roof near the bottom, it might not actually be leaking at the bottom. What I'll do is run this lead in to the scrap man. I think they pay £1 a kilo, something like that. Goes up and down obviously with the metal markets. But yeah, get a bit of your money back, you know. Might get 100 quid, hopefully. It's £100, 100 quid. And there you can see what I was saying earlier. See where the split was? Obviously that's wet. You can see that's wet. So it's leaked down there, and there's the hole in the felt that I was talking about a minute ago. So where the leak runs down, water's gone under that felt and in. And that corresponds inside the room. If you remember where I showed you the crack was, it's right on that corner, on that angle. Right, we're all swept out. Let's go and get that lead. Right, cut the lead up down by the van into 1.5s, ready to lay. I've marked the middle of the lead, so we're just going to roughly roll it out to get it in position. This is what I was saying about the tiles. We need to be over this way a bit more. Come on, that's. Now we just need to fix the lead panel. In position. Obviously, there's another lead panel coming down, lapping over like 150mm, so we can nail in this area and it won't leak. Another good little tip, if you're using tiny little clout nails for anything, instead of like trying to bang it and banging your fingers all the time, all you want to do, get it like that, go like that, done. Put it between your fingers, jobs are good. Obviously we're not having a metre lap, just putting it to get it straight. Same again, find the middle, there, all lined up below, so that's all good. While I'm fixing this, let us know. Obviously different countries use different building methods. Hold on, let's get in it. So let us know what you have where you are. I know, for example, in the US you use like bitumen shingles or something. We're not allowed to use anything like that here. Well, you can on outbuildings and sheds and, you know. So we're just sitting in, you can see there's loads of lap on the lead. So it's never going to leak. Obviously there's no splits in it or whatever. So as I said, we're just temporarily putting the tiles back. So I want to get that other side stripped. So this was our broken one, if you remember. We need to change that, but just for now, just slipping them in there. But if you look there, that piece of tile's not actually doing anything. But it just makes the line look neat. Otherwise you'll have a jagged edge. Anyone remember that film, Jagged Edge? If you haven't seen it, I won't tell you that you did it. I can't remember the name of the actor. That's all temporarily tiled in dry. We're going to do the same this side and then crack on the other side. This is the importance of keeping them all in order. You can just run them straight back in like that. Last few cuts. Right, we're all back in. Right, didn't bore you with stripping out the tiles again. We've got the lead out. And again, I'll show you, there's splits everywhere. Because this was just one long roll, rolled out in one hit, as I said before. Rather than in 1.5 metre sections. And see all the white? That's where it's leaked. It's like that all the way down. There you can see it, like I was saying, leaking all the way down. Massive splits. Still, it's going to be sorted in a couple of hours. Maybe. Right, time for the new lead. Right, got the lead out. Time for me to get out. Does anyone else have these sort of access for your workplace? Don't help the handle digging in your back. I've got the valley in. There's some broken tiles which need to get some new ones to recut, and obviously I've got to bed everything, including the ridges, and also remember that flat roof I've got to do and get all the rubbish down. Back again, day 2. First challenge again. Oh, getting out the window. Another day in paradise. Today we're going to finish off cementing this valley, as I said before, rebed these ridges and slap a bit of felt on top of there. So I've picked up a couple of tiles, well 5 to be precise. Gonna strip out this broken one. Cut that, replace that one, and then start bedding this in. Believe it or not, this is the actual original colour. They just go dark and dirty after a while. There we go. Perfect. Out of ammo, time to reload. At last, all the cement work's done. Well, I say all the cement work. Got the ridges and the little top area to do. Both valleys are now been pointed up. As I said, they're not perfectly cut straight, whoever cut these, so it is a bit in and out, but it is what it is. Yeah, so next job, let's get these ridges on. Tootings that way. I think he heard me. Right, let's try and get our last little bit of ridge on. Just got to overlay this flat roof and we're done. It's easier said than done though. Getting in and out of that window is a nightmare. Let's get felting.
These ones are coming out. Typically they're nailed. First half done. Drag all this over this side. And we've got a clear run on the other. Quickly tile this back in. Bonded there. Again, tuck these tiles in. Need to quickly sweep that because there's a lot of dust there. It's not going to bond to that. Run that out. Try not to fall off the roof. Reason we roll it out, as you can see, look, if you just started torching from there and rolled it without rolling it fully first, see how it's running off? So make sure you're running straight. So you roll it all out, then you come back. Roll it back up, ready to go. Right, let's take this one back. You see where it's stuck to, look, it's solid there. This is the bit we try not to burn their ass down. Quickly tile this back in. And we are done. I am cream crackered. Both valleys are sorted, so there should be no leaks at the front. And here was just a felt repair. So yeah. See you on the next one.